inside a well, life can get tangled. Might the money. Might the money. Might the money. I'm making money, Mike the.
This podcast or broadcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal, health, tax, or professional advice. Always consult a licensed professional for specific advice related to your situation. Thank you.
Welcome back to Mic'd Up Money, where we don't just talk about money, we talk about keeping it, scaling it, and making it work for you while you sleep. And today, we have an amazing episode because this is our first time ever that we have a guest, right? I'm here with Ephraim, who is the profitability expert, and I'm going to let him introduce our guest, and I'm just so excited to hear all about her business, and everything she got going on.
Yes, today we have Miss Leah Williamson. And the reason I know her is because years ago, she was doing paintings, and I bought 2 Prince portraits from her.
Oh, she a painter?
Yes, she does a whole lot of things. She's going to explain all that to us.
She looks her talented in here, okay.
Yes, but I saw her, she was doing a launch, taking people from their jobs into entrepreneurship. And I wanted her to give her a platform and a time and a place for her to explain how that works. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the floor over to Leah. She's going to explain what she's doing.
Yeah, but before we do that, I want to hear a little bit of your background, like why you started, where you came from, and what inspired you to do, per se, lunch, and a little bit of the painting, too. Because I'm interested in that.
I got you. So, yeah, my name is Leah. My background is actually in journalism. I went to school for journalism and did absolutely nothing with that, like most people do. But my main job or my main career is graphic design, web development, and IT services. I have a company called Willow&Co. And we do a lot of government contract work, B2B services, things of that nature. And while I do a lot of graphics and websites and business cards, the print branding for clients, I have learned that my clients really need something else.
Okay.
A lot of times they want to talk. Now, my web design doesn't, I don't get paid to walk you through it and to counsel you and give you good advice on what you need to do within your business, but everybody seems to think that I do. And so I've been doing that for years. I've had my business Willow&Co since 2010, so we're going into 16 years.
Ooh.
And my clients, the spoiled ones, the ones that come back all the time, they always need help with their branding, not just the graphic part, not just the physical part, but the emotional support, because as entrepreneurs we have a lot going on, right?
Yes.
I don't know one entrepreneur that only does one thing. That's what I don't know. And sometimes we don't get that support that we need at home or with friends because they just don't understand the hustle. They don't understand what's going on the day to day. And so I decided to launch Branded by Leah, which is brand therapy. And yes, that's a real thing. People ask me that all the time. Is that a real thing? It is now. So I call myself a brand therapist and not a coach because I give you not only information and educational points, but I also help you emotionally get through either launching your business, sustaining your business, or pivoting into something else.
I got you. So that kind of sounds like Tanika, and that is our other host. Unfortunately, she's not here today, but she's kind of a coach mixed in with helping people build their business. So that's very interesting that you also do something in that area.
Right.
But I guess my question to you is, what makes you stand out, like versus somebody else might be doing the same thing that you're doing? And also my second part of my question, I will repeat it, is the emotional support part. How does that work? Why do you feel like you want to do that? Because if you talk to the profitability expert over here, he gonna say it's business. Look, I heard him. You can go back and watch our other episodes. He's gonna say it's just business. I'm not here to hold your hand. But the first part is, what makes your brand stand out, or what makes you stand out as a entrepreneur?
Well, I think I stand out because of my method. I am a no-nonsense type person. I give tough love, but it comes from a place of me wanting to help. And I've always been that way. Also, with the emotional support part, I took classes in therapy, so I run my business therapy in the same method that you would if you were going to get your head fixed by a shrink. We do the same type of things. I also screen my clients. I don't take everybody because I'm not for everyone. And I want to make sure that we have a mutual beneficial relationship. I don't want it to be one way. Right. So I think that I'm different, or I know that I'm different just because of the method that I have and the background that I have in public relations, broadcasting, graphic design, development. I probably had over 100 jobs in my life trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to do. So I'm very well versed in business and the problems that come along with the business. So that's what makes me stick out the most.
Okay, have you gotten your brand therapist trademark yet?
Brand therapy? No, I didn't trademark it because I do believe other people use it, the same reference to themselves, brand therapy. But I'm working on a special name for it that includes brand therapy that I will get trademarked.
You need to talk to me.
I'm going to talk to you. I'm glad I came. I'm going to talk to you.
Because I'm good about making up words and getting them branded.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, so I've heard a lot of good things so far. I've heard that you've been in business this week, said 16 years, correct? And then you emotionally support your clients. You're here for branding. It's branded by Leah, and I like the fact that you said that it has to be a mutually beneficial relationship.
Absolutely.
And that's why I like it, because you got a lot of knuckleheads out here that just take the people money, don't give them any value, and then they burn, and then they're out of tens of thousands of dollars because they feel like they were dependent on that person to bring them to the next level, and they just really want their money. So it's hard to find people out there that you can work with that can give you value and that you add value to their life. And I think we have to wrap up this first segment, and I'm so excited for the next segment.
Yeah, we'll be back. I had some deep questions for you.
That's some mind-boggling things.
This is Mike the Money. We are back with our special guest, Miss Leah Williamson, and she's going to talk about her new branded by
Leah.
Branded by Leah. Now, I taught a class for the Memphis Library Foundation.
Okay.
And I was explaining to them a lot of stuff they hear about branding is not true. Could you explain to us what branding really is?
Well, it depends on who you ask what that is going to be. But for me and what I tell my clients, branding is everything from your logo down to your vibe of your business. It is what represents you before you walk in the room, and is how people feel after you leave. All of that is branding.
Yeah. I virtually told them it is a promise and an experience.
True.
And if your brand does not hold water, then people will not come back.
Absolutely. You have to build trust, and there's different pillars. There's different levels to branding. So if you're starting off, your branding might be just your logo. It might just be your website. It might just be your slogan and your promise, right? But as you grow, your brand should grow as well. You have to establish a relationship with your clients. First of all, you need to know who your clients are. You need to have a niche. You can't be everything to everybody, and that's one of the hardest things for entrepreneurs and business owners to understand.
Well, we talked about a house of brands because you can't be everything to everybody.
Correct.
And you have segmented customers.
Correct.
That you might want to do this for, but you don't want to do that for these particular people, but you would do that for another person.
True.
So the other part of it is, what makes your business so special? Because I'm sure that there are gurus that say they do branding, but they only do logos.
Correct.
And then a lot of people, they don't understand branding, because if I want to put trust, I can't have an orange logo. Because it's...
The color doesn't reflect trust.
Yes, it does not reflect trust. And then the typeface, what I use too, it has to bring in trust too, or the slogan has to put trust in it too. So a lot of people just understand it's just not a one-off. You have to have a comprehensive identity so
Correct.
people can see it.
Correct. It's all about creating a lasting brand, right? We want something that is memorable. We want something that's trustworthy. We want something that's going to evoke emotion in someone. Depending on your brand, depends on what emotion you want to evoke, because people's brands are different based upon their key factors or their clientele, their niche, right? So I like to go from a nothing to full brand, right? So my specialty is working with people who are 9-to-5ers who want to become full-time entrepreneurs but really don't know how, right?
So talk more about that, because you have a
Absolutely.
course right now, right?
I do have a course that I'm actually putting together. It is coming up. But I basically help 9-to-5ers who want to become entrepreneurs figure it out. I'm helping them with the jump, right? Because that is the hardest part, is for people to trust themselves to jump into entrepreneurship. A lot of people think that they are secure because they have a 9-to-5. That is my biggest thing. People say, I don't want to leave my 9-to-5. Well, don't. I want you to work your 9-to-5 until we are ready. Your brand is ready. You have already created social proof. You already have a portfolio of things that you can and are willing to do. You have a following of people, because once you get to a certain point where your employer, you can now look at them as your investor. That's what I tell them. Your check is your investment. Your boss is your investor. You are learning on the job. You are getting unique skills and talents that you otherwise wouldn't have. We're not going to do anything for your side hustle right now on the clock. We're going to do all of this off of the clock. And so I do have a course that's coming up. It's called Escape the Cubicle. It's for 9-to-5ers who want to become entrepreneurs. And it's a 9-week course. It's 1 lesson a week with homework. And I walk you through how to start. But the biggest thing is the mindset shift. That's what people miss, and I think that's what sets me apart. I'm not just telling you how to do things. I'm going to try to help you change your mindset, because when you change your mindset, you'll be surprised what you can do as a person. And that is my joy. I love seeing when people have that aha moment where they step out of the employee mindset and step into the entrepreneur mindset. And that's what I'm working toward.
Well, with me, I had made my mind I was going to do the jump.
Mm-hmm.
But, in the back of my mind, I already set a date I was going to do the jump.
Okay.
But in the back of my mind, if I just stay on just a little while longer, I can get that bonus.
Mm-hmm.
If I just stay on just a little while longer,
Mm-hmm.
I can help this other person pass probation.
Right.
So I had all these little excuses past the date I said I was going to jump.
Right.
I know you're going to have some people who want to do that.
Oh, absolutely. I have them now. That's why I said I started doing this formally, because my clients do that now, right? Everyone's afraid when it comes to getting to that point where you actually need to leap. I'm trying to teach you to leap with a parachute. We're not just going to jump into the abyss and have nothing prepared. So my motto is preparation, not perfection. So only you are going to know when you are emotionally stable and ready to become an entrepreneur. I'm just here to guide you through the process and make sure that you are prepared when you do.
So I was fired.
Well, sometimes you got to be a little bit more prepared and ready than others.
During COVID.
Yeah, I totally agree, and we're having some really great conversations. I didn't say much in this segment because I'm probably the youngest one, and I'm soaking up all the wisdom. I promise you, I'm soaking up all the wisdom. But Leah, I'm really enjoying everything you said, and I want to dive deeper into the mindset portion of everything in our next segment. And again, we're Mic'd Up Money, where we're transforming people, transforming your lives, and transforming your money, so money can make money for you while you sleeping. And we out. Welcome back to Mic'd Up Money, where we have an amazing guest, Leah Williamson, and she's talking about what she does, branding and teaching entrepreneurs how to go from their 9-to-5 into entrepreneurship. And I want to start off this segment with a question to you. Because you said you've had jobs over the years and everything like that. Mm-hmm. What broke you? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm done with this. I am ready to shift into entrepreneurship, and I'm ready to teach others how to do it once you got efficient in what you were doing.
Absolutely. So the first thing, I knew from a young age, I don't like people telling me what to do, right?
Respect.
Especially stupid people. Like, If I don't respect you and you have not proven that you have more knowledge than me, I don't understand why you're trying to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a good attitude to have people. But I knew that about myself, right? From a very young age. So I did a whole lot of, I literally counted one day and it was 104 different jobs that I've done trying to find myself. I'm a very artistic person and very emotional. So every job I have to connect with, right? But my breaking point, I guess you can say, is when I was married to my ex-husband, and we have my son. He is almost 21 now. But when we got divorced, I was lost. I was in pharmaceutical sales, right? Good job. But it just threw me for a loop because I was only 21, right, when I got divorced. I got married early. Don't do that. But I got married early.
Whoa.
No, I'm talking about out of high school early. I was
okay.
19 when I got married. That was not a good look. And so I wanted to figure out what I could do to be there for my son. I wanted to be a present mother because I knew his father was not going to be present. And that's what really drove me into entrepreneurship. And I got into graphic design and web development because I am artistic. And my boyfriend now of 20 years, he encouraged me to do it because he's in IT. And he's like, you're artistic. Here's a computer. Here's some software. Figure it out.
I like that.
So.
And that is actually so cool. I mean, I work a 9 to 5 now, and I am... I want to keep it because I love my company.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jesus, I love my company. But I'm going to use the skill set like you were talking about in the last segment to transform into something that's profitable with me so I can have multiple streams of income, which I do, but I want to have even more than what I got. Because when you find out something ain't working, you're supposed to do better. And I was also going to say something else, but I actually forgot. So I'll hand it over to you. It's so bad.
Well, the multiple streams of income, I recommend for anybody.
Absolutely.
When you tell people not to leave their main job
Right.
until they really get a replacement of that income
Correct.
on the side hustle or the business they have,
Correct.
is very important.
Yes.
But even if you have a job, you need to have something on the side because everyone needs to have multiple streams of income.
Yes.
Because you can go to work today, then tomorrow you can say you don't have nowhere to work.
Absolutely.
And if you have nothing, unemployment takes the time to get started.
Right.
And then they put you in the box.
And
Because
if you qualify.
if you qualify, there's $275 in Tennessee. Don't pay bills.
At all.
Sure don't. Jesus, I be on the street asking for money. I'm dead serious. Oh, I realized what I was gonna say. Your story about your son motivating you. I was gonna say because I've heard some stories. He said he got fired. I heard somebody say that this manager wants to sleep with. It's been a lot of stuff. So I'm glad your story was a lot more subtle. I don't know what I was expecting. But talking about multiple streams of income, and so do all of your I guess your qualities, your specialties fall up under the Williamson code?
Will & Co.
Will
yeah.
& Co, sorry.
So no, that's okay. It's Will & Co for WI for Williamson and LO for my son's last name is long. So I wanted to make sure that I incorporated him into my business when I did my rebrand because he works with me. He's a graphic designer. So I'm really excited about that. But yes, so that's one of the things that I preach too. I want you to have multiple streams of income. And like you said, I also have sex of people, right? So it's like you said earlier in the last segment, I might not do this for this particular client, but I will do it for a different client. So my motto is, and the framework that I try to get people to do is start somewhere. Start with one thing, just one. Start with one thing, and then we're going to grow based on your clientele, based off of the feedback that you get, based off of what people that you are servicing actually need. But it all needs to make sense, right? So put it all under the same umbrella so that you have a natural funnel for your next business. So I didn't want to break off into Branded by Leah until I had a great base of clients, customers primed and ready to go from my graphic design, web development, and IT services. I know their weaknesses. I know their pros. I know what they need. I know their fears. Therefore, hey, you know what? Don't call me anymore at 9 o'clock at night. Set up a consultation for Branded by Leah and let's have a brand therapy session.
Well, that's what consulting is all about. I can talk to you for free.
Correct.
But I prefer to talk to you for money.
Absolutely.
So.
And then, Pastor over here, what's that verse from the Bible about having a strong foundation or something gonna crumble. See, I can't quote it. Ooh, God forgive me, I can't quote it.
You
But
got the gist. That's all that matters.
that's what I'm saying. Y'all gotta look it up on y'all time if I ain't got time for no sermon. And you supposed to know it, so he ain't said nothing.
Because you're not quoting it right. 'Cause it's like Jesus talked about building your foundation on
a
a rock.
See?
Yes, that was a
Peter, you're
parable.
yeah.
Instead of saying.
Correct.
Yeah, me, I do a little bit of something. I'm still studying, baby. I don't do too much.
She's still working on it. That's all. Work in progress, not
For sure.
perfection.
But Leah, I'm hearing a lot of great things from you, and I'm oh my God, I'm soaking up so much knowledge from this episode, from what y'all are saying, and I can't wait to hear more, honestly. And we're gonna probably get ready to wrap this segment, but before we do, I want you to talk about the Mic'd Up Money Playbook.
The Mic'd Up Money Playbook has a lot of tools, and it's a subscription. So for $12.99 a month, less than a Happy Meal or something, because everything's gone up, you can have business knowledge and tools at your disposal. Go to mic'dupmoney.com, to our website, and ask for to subscribe for the $12.99 Level Up Playbook.
And we're out.
Yes, this is Ephraim, the business strategist, coming back from Mic'd Up Money. We have our special guest, Leah Williamson, here, and we're talking about her brand, her business, and the new endeavor she's doing. But we want to go back and refresh and talk about the mentality of an entrepreneur. Now, I've been an entrepreneur on and off for 35 years. So I understand the struggles, I understand the strain,
Right.
but I understand the freedom.
Yes.
And then I understand how branding, as far as my price point, is a branding statement.
It is.
And I know when I first got started, minimum wage was like $3.35,
Okay.
and getting $25 an hour was phenomenal.
Correct.
But people kept calling me and kept calling me. So now my price point is up so high, I don't get those calls,
Right.
and I have the freedom and the luxury I always wanted. And I have a lifestyle business.
Right.
So I want you to understand, I want other people to understand, what is the mentality of entrepreneur?
Right. So we are conditioned from a very young age to have the mindset of a worker bee, as I call it, or as an entrepreneur. We wait for somebody to give us permission to do things. That's an employee mindset. In order for your mind to shift into entrepreneur mindset or CEO mindset, you have to think of value different. You have to think of your pricing different. You have to completely shift the way that you understand and comprehend business and as a whole, to be perfectly honest. As an employee, you get paid by your time. That's not how you get paid as an entrepreneur. You get paid as an entrepreneur for your output, the solution to a problem, the product that you're putting out, the service that you're putting out. That's how you get paid. So say, for instance, if a client came to me and they had an issue with the systems and it was a $10,000 issue that they had. Now, I might be able to fix your issue in 10 minutes. Should I charge you for 10 minutes? Absolutely not. I'm charging you for my output. I'm charging you for the solution that was given to you. So that's one of the biggest things for me is my clients don't know how to price themselves. They don't know the value that they bring. And so you have to get into the mindset of understanding, hey, I'm not getting paid for X amount of time. I'm getting paid to fix a solution. I'm getting paid to give my expertise to something. I'm getting paid to be creative with something. So that's the biggest difference in mindset. And stop waiting for someone else to do something. As an entrepreneur, you are everything in your business, right? You are the marketer. You are the brander. You are the hype person. You are the worker bee. You are all these things. So you have to shift your mind from thinking, oh wait, I need permission in order to post it. No, you don't post it. Or I'm not ready yet. Everything isn't perfect. Well, as an entrepreneur, you don't have time to be perfect, right? This is all about progress.
Right.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this is a small little anecdote, right? So and I might be wrong, y'all don't get on me if I'm wrong. But the original purpose of like schools and all of that, where because like the Vanderbilts, the Carnegies, the Fords, they were training children as they went through school to work in factories, and it's still the same concept because that's the original reason why they created the schooling system anyway. Why do you think the schools are the same time as the 9-to-5 jobs that we have? They were literally training people to work in factories because you had the wars coming up, you had the steel plants going, you had all this stuff going on during their time period. But that's just like my little anecdote. So that's why the mindset is so screwed up, and it's still screwed up today because it's the same process. The school have the same outlines that they did when they first started schooling systems. But I did want to go into where you said value and output, and when you charge people as an entrepreneur, when someone is paying for your service, you should be charging them the value that you're going to add to their company over the life of their company, not just for one-off projects. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
it also depends on how you have scaled your business or your business model. So if you're only going to deal with clients for one-off situations, then you factor it in. So like a logo design, people are like, oh, why do you charge so much for a logo? You should only charge $60. No, because your logo is going to be the face and you're going to use that for years to come, and that's going to be your brand. So I'm going to charge you for that. So you are absolutely correct, but you have to know how to do that mindset shift.
That's why we need to go to your classes and learn something.
Come through.
Well, I also talk about value demonstration, because you can go to Fiverr and get a logo for like $25.
Correct.
So what do you have to do to convince people to pay your price for the logo?
I don't convince people to pay my price for my logo. That's one of the things that I do not do. I don't convince people about any of my services whatsoever. What I do is show value. What I do is show expertise. Right? I don't do convincing. I used to do that, and I was broke. That was why. Because we live in a desperation model. If you're desperate, if you're constantly chasing, people like to say, oh, chase the bag. I don't chase anything. That's because it means it's eluding me. I want to gravitate. I want it to come to me, right? So I just put out the best information that I possibly can. I do the best that I can at all times. I try to learn and educate myself so that I can help other people, and it attracts people. I want to attract the people that are for me to work with. That's why I said I don't work with everyone, because I'm not for everybody. And the only way that a relationship like this will work is if it's beneficial to both people.
That's why I call it.
I'm sorry, because people can smell the desperation.
Absolutely.
That's when they're like, oh, well, I can get something out of them and I ain't got to pay them.
Correct. Go to Fiverr. You're going to get what you get.
Well, that's why I say you have to demonstrate value.
Correct.
Because a lot of times people think that just because you build it, they will come. And they only going to come if you advertise it, market it, and tell people they need to be there.
True. Very true.
And we talking about a lot of good things here. We talking about more about the mindset. We're talking about demonstrating value, and we always have Simmons and Tanika always go into bickering. They're always like, "How do you measure value?" She's always like, "I don't measure my value," and he's just like, "Well, you can measure value," and it's just the whole back and forth, and it's so interesting to me. So we might talk about value a little bit more, not just as a business mindset, but as a person mindset. This next segment, and this is Mike the Money, and we're out.
Welcome back to Mic'd Up Money, where entrepreneurs talk money. And we want to get back to this pricing thing. And we had somebody who commented 2 weeks ago, and they didn't like when I said that if you're not making money, you need to raise your prices. And could you explain that from somebody who's doing the business?
Absolutely. I 100% agree. You can try me if you want to. But I 100% agree with that statement because, like I said previously, when you operate out of fear or desperation, it shows. And you're going to get desperate clients. And those are not the people that you want to work with, right? So if you are indeed not making any money, you do want to raise your prices because people actually, the perception is if your price is too low, you don't know what you're doing and they're not going to get a good product or outcome.
Right.
If your price is too high, you're overextending yourself. You think too much of yourself. You've outpriced me. The key is finding that sweet spot in the middle. But to go to your point, if my price is $25 and I'm not getting anyone, then raise it in increments of $10 to $15 to $20, depending on what your service is. If you're doing like bundles or courses or things of that nature, add a couple $100s to it and see what type of response that you get. Because people automatically equate price with value and equate price with expertise, even though that's not necessarily the truth. But that's why you see these gurus out here, and I use that term very loosely, and these business coaches that charge $20,000 for a course, and then they tell you absolutely nothing. They don't know, like, you're like, how are you in business? Or like, what business did you actually run? Like, what do you have to go off of that makes you qualified to tell me how to do this? That's one of my pet peeves. I won't go on that tangent, but yeah. So I agree with your statement.
I believe the sweet spot is the point that you can demonstrate value.
Mm-hmm.
So, because if I'm charging $100, I need to sound like you need to pay me that $100.
Correct.
And I need to have social proof
Correct.
and results
Correct.
and expertise
Correct.
for people to feel like they need to give me that $100.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't sound right, if I don't look right,
Correct.
if I don't operate right,
Mm-hmm.
then folks be saying like, no, you're a $25 person. I'm not going to give you the extra money.
Correct. That's like people judge if they're going to an event by looking at your flyer.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a horrible flyer, guess what? I'm not going. And you might get me because it might be a bomb flyer. Then I get to the event and I'm like, this is horrible, but I know better now, you know? So it's kind of that mentality. You have to practice what you preach and you have to look like where you want to be, not where you currently are. Tell people that all the time.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say too, cause I'm a little rough around the edges, baby. I grew up in Memphis, was in Fraser and all types
Me
of Lower
too, baby.
Memphis. So like, if you gonna tell me that something is over a certain amount of money, and I'm gonna be looking at you like, what you gonna do for me that I can't do for myself? Cause ain't nobody got time to play with you. But what I want you to do, Leah Williamson. Like, your name is so pretty. What I want you to do is I want you to give our listeners, our viewers, our people that are tuned in to the Mic'd Up Money radio show and broadcast a word of wisdom, an aha moment, something that you want them to take with them and that could possibly help them in the future.
Absolutely. So if I can tell you anything, especially if you are striving or inspired to be an entrepreneur and business owner, even if you just want to move up in what you already are, my biggest thing is to take time to document everything that you do, because you need measurable information. That's the only way that you can prove your value and prove your worth, is if you've actually done the work and have metrics to show people. Keep your receipts, people. You need your receipts. And what it also does is help you stay accountable. We need to make sure that we are holding ourselves accountable, and then you get an accountability partner, and that's where I come in, right? By being your brand therapist. You have someone that you can vent to, but also that's going to keep you structured and in line with your goals. And to celebrate the small wins. We forget to do that. We set these large goals that are so far off, and we forget to set the small ones day by day, week by week, and then celebrate the heck out of it. I love celebrating everything that I do. I finished recording for my courses today. I had me a glass of whiskey before I came because I celebrated being finished, right? So celebrate the small wins.
I love that. And speaking of courses, let's talk about your courses. Where can we find them? How can we access them? Where they're going to be located? Let's just talk about it.
Yeah, so the courses will be dropping February the 1st, but the site is already up. It's branded by Leah, leah.com, and you can go there. It's a lot of information that's already there. I have a VIP website that's coming up because, you know, multiple streams of income, and I want to make sure that everyone is getting the content that they need. But branded by leah.com, I say the other BBL, not that one, right? And we're also on social media at Branded by Leah, IG, Facebook, and TikTok.
I love that.
Yeah.
So she said she is accessible and you can find her on them social media platforms.
Absolutely.
And y'all better register for that class. She said it drop on February 1st. So before you start buying that Valentine's Day candy and be booed up, you need to be registering for this class because she going to learn you something, I tell you.
Right? Or buy it for your boo. Right?
There you go.
Put them in the class.
One quick question.
Yeah.
Who is this course for?
This course specifically is called Escape the Cubicle, and it's for 9 to 5ers, people who have current jobs that want to become entrepreneurs but are afraid to leap. They don't know where to start, they don't know how to start, and they just need a little encouragement. So by the end of this 9-week course, it's 9 lessons once a week, you'll have a full plan and you'll be ready to jump into entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Well, we're wrapping up this episode with Leah Williamson on Mic'd Up Money, and so we appreciate you coming out. We appreciate you spreading your knowledge, and we're so excited to have you. And we want to keep up with us. We want to know what you're doing in the future. We want to try to get you back eventually. And if you got the Mic'd Up Money plug, if you want to say something about that.
Well, we want you to go to Mic'd Up Money across all social media platforms. We on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Where else we on? Instagram.
Instagram, there you go.
Yes.
So you got to name all of them.
Yeah.
And we out.
That's a wrap for this week on Mic'd Up Money. Don't forget to grab your free tools at mic'dupmoney.com. Follow us at Mic'd Up Money on all social platforms and keep taking your next right money move. Until next time, stay reset, stay ready, and stay mic'd up.
This podcast or broadcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal, health, tax, or professional advice. Always consult a licensed professional for specific advice related to your situation. Thank you.
So